Now, Queen Victoria Market, more detail coming out on that. But is your redevelopment? Are you aiming that primarily at tourists or at locals who shop there?
A bit of both, but it's a bit of a misapprehension that tourists make Queen Victoria Market. In fact, 2/3 of the visitations to the Queen Victoria Market at the moment are locals doing their local shop. And if you look at the sort of 100 metres around Queen Victoria Market, there's about 12,000 units being built or planned. And we know that if those people, once those units are built, if they make just one visit a week to QVM, that's 600,000 visits in a year. So the potential for Queen Victoria Market is absolutely huge. And the way we shop is actually changing. You don't get in your car anymore and drive and get a boot full of food and then fill up the freezer and the cupboards and not shop again for a week. That's not the way people are doing it. One really interesting thing to me about the Queen Victoria Market consultation we've just done, traders say parking is the most important thing to them. The public say exactly the opposite.
Really?
They say good amenity, good streets, good pedestrian access is what they want. And that's partly because they are locals from that area who don't go once a week for a big shop. They might shop every single day because people are a lot more spontaneous about what they're going to eat, freshness of food, and that's the way they are living their shopping lives.
And you're going to have a high-rise cordon around it.
Yeah, look, the market doesn't really work if it sort of sits in this bowl, this low-rise bowl with a few towers dotted here and there and discretionary height limits of 60 metres that just haven't worked. So we looked at good markets around the world, and the ones that really work are where the city comes up and there's an actual edge where you see that's the end of the city and that's where the market starts. And that's the way we want to plan the market. And we sent that message by setting out a set of principles for development around the market when the Munro site was for sale. And we'll prepare a planning scheme amendment now that reflects those principles that we put out into the marketplace to let people know what is acceptable and what is not. Now, it won't be surrounded by gigantic towers, but there will be a bit more height around the market, and it'll sit more embedded in City North than it is at the moment. You sort of just meander into the market through the car park and a pretty awful mess of streets, to be honest. So there's a fair bit of work we've got to do in sort of embedding the market in the CBD North. This is. I mean, I don't think people quite get how big this is for us. This is a $250 million project, and our budget's about $550 million a year. So if you compare it to the state, it would be like the state saying, we're going to do East-West Link and Metro, because that's about half of their budget. This is about half of our annual budget. Big project for us at the city.